This is an example of a quadratic inequality. And the first step that we need to take is to factorise the quadratic expression and just ignore the inequality part. So we'll need two brackets, x, and we want two numbers that multiply to make 6, but add or subtract to make -1. So we're going to have -3 and +2 to make that work. And so if you solve that, if that was equal to 0 like a normal quadratic, then the two solutions would be x equals 3 and x equals -2. That should all be normal from quadratic work. Now we're going to deal with the actual inequality element of it. So the easiest way to understand this is just to look at it in the form of a picture. So hopefully you should be aware that quadratics form a U shape, okay? And I'm just going to put an approximate X line in there. And so what we know from these solutions that we've got here is that when Y is 0, then X is either 3 or -2. So that means that this point is -2 and this point is 3 where it crosses the line. Now if we go back and look at the inequality, it's asking for where is this curve that I've just drawn less than 0. So where is it below that x-axis? So it's quite clearly below that x-axis in this region here. So now all we've got to do is write down the inequality that describes that region. So that would be -2 is less than x, x is less than 3. Because there was no line on the inequality to start with, there's no line on our inequality answer. So here's another one. Again, we're going to start by factorising it. So numbers that make 5 and 6, so it's got to be 5. So it's going to be -5 and -1 that we're looking for. And if we solve that, that would give us x equals 5 and x equals 1. So draw the picture again. After a while you might not feel the need for the picture. Okay, so this point here would be the 1, this point here would be the 5. There's no need for accurate drawing here, it's just to get your head round things. Now this time it asks for the region, or regions in this case, where this curve is greater than 0, so above the x line. So that's this region here and this region here. So again, now we just need to write those regions down as inequalities. So the first region here is where x is less than 1, and the other region is where x is greater than 5. And again, if it had the extra line on the inequality to start with, then we'd include it in our answer. If it doesn't, we don't. So we're going to factorise this, but what you'll notice is that this has got a minus in front of the x squared, which means that we're going to have a n-shaped curve, not a U-shaped curve later on. But for now, what we're going to do is take the minus out, so to speak, to make life easier for the factorising. So that will be x squared plus 4x minus 12 if we take that minus out. And then if we factorise what's in brackets here, we'll have, so we want numbers that make 12, and we've got to get 4 as well. So it's 6 and it's 2. So it's going to be +6 minus 2, and we set that equal to 0. That would give us x equals -6 and x equals 2. So if we pop those on the diagram, so this side would be -6 and that one would be 2 where it's crossing the x-axis. Then we go back and have a look at the original, and it wants the section where it's greater than 0, so above the line, So we're looking for this region in between these two parts. So our inequality is going to be minus 6 less than x less than 2.